There we go. Make sure my volume is working. Hey everybody, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Oh, Loki says hello. His claws. I just started grinding his claws back down so they're a little sharp. Hope you guys all had a really good day today. The overall market was pretty good. We kind of made up the losses from yesterday, but we're still seeing strength here, which I think is some good news. We do want to talk about some fun stuff here for today. Mostly, well, I guess I don't want to call it fun, but just like, whoa, this actually happened today. We're going to be talking about TikTok being banned, some stuff with the overall market, and some of the videos I'm going to be posting over the next few days because I am starting with a longer trading view tutorial here, which I think you guys are going to like quite a bit. So let's get started. And hey, Nicholas, and hey, GT, hope you guys are doing well. Let me move this over here. I'm still not used to moving all this stuff around on my software, so let's go to display. There we go. Okay. So this is the first thing here. The first article I found on the subject was from CNN Business. It says Montana governor bans TikTok. You know, this is going to be very, very interesting for a lot of different reasons because the government is now coming in and saying, hey, you can't use this social media platform. The government's been talking about it, saying we don't like it because our data is going overseas to China and so forth. And I think you have a lot of Americans saying, well, we don't care because our data is taken from, Facebook, it's taken from Apple, it's taken from everywhere. And all of that data is being sent and used to sell us more products. I don't know how big of an impact Montana not having TikTok is really going to hurt TikTok, to be frank, just because, last time I lived in Montana, they broke 1 million people in the state, so it's not like they have such a huge population. However, I do think as far as a signal, this is a massive shot across the bow that signals to TikTok that, hey, there are states out here that are very serious about getting TikTok out of their jurisdiction, so to speak. And so I kind of want to know you guys' thoughts about this one because I was not expecting Montana to officially go through with it. The ban is not set to go into effect until the beginning of next year. I think it's January 1st, 2024. But I do have to say, like, wow, I didn't think anybody was going to have the guts to do this. But honestly, I just don't know how many people in TikTok have the ability to how many people in Montana actually use TikTok. I don't think it's many. If anything, I would think the majority of them are going to be young individuals and people that are coming from out of the state to go to college there. Because the way this law is going to work is people inside of Montana aren't going to be able to find the app on the App Store or the Google Play Store. But if they literally just go over to Idaho or they go back home to Washington, California, Texas, they're going to be able to just download it there, then have access to it in Montana. So I'm not entirely sure how much this law is actually going to do, but if there are more states that actually make laws like this, it may be a little bit more difficult, but it's something I thought was pretty newsworthy here. And hey Delilah, hey Tony, Max Para, happy to see you guys all here. Let's go Heat Eastern Conference Finals. It's on now. I haven't had a chance to watch some of the basketball games for the last few days, but I hear the Lakers won their series. I think they lost their first game. It's good to see the Heat still rocking and rolling, but the Heat's been kind of dominating this whole time. I wanted to go live. I wanted to stream yesterday, but my mom and grandmother were driving in a car and a car rear-ended them, so I had to deal with that yesterday. Everybody's fine. Everybody's safe, but definitely something I had to kind of go check out and make sure everything is doing fine. And hey, Larry, Charlie Munger's Daily Journal reported 25 revenue growth. They're still trading at their cash, property, and equity stock holdings value. It's extremely undervalued and largely unknown. Oh, there you go, guys. Have you had much experience with the Vanguard fund? Yeah, so, a lot of people that I've met over the years that have been doing a lot more longer-term invest than I have, because I like to, I'm younger, I like to make more money. They swear by just making a Vanguard account and then just buying up all the Vanguard ETFs because there's no fees and no commissions to buy them up. And so it's like cheaper to hold them inside a Vanguard account, technically. And they just say buy and hold for a long period of time. When I did that dividend video just a few weeks ago now, I think it is, one of the dividends I was sharing with you guys was a couple Vanguard ones because those Vanguard ones are usually very, very good. I trust Vanguard quite a bit. I have friends who are married into wealthy families where the Vanguard, where they have worked high up in the Vanguard institution, and I respect them quite a bit, and I do like Vanguard quite a bit. This could be for any type of investment. Like this could be your standard investment account. This could be for your 401k. I think it's better for some of your longer term vehicles because they haven't really adapted to the younger generation who likes to see stuff like Robinhood or TradingView. I would love if Vanguard acquired TradingView and entered that into their own system. Oh my gosh, that'd be heavenly. But yeah, I've used Vanguard accounts quite a bit. It's not something you're usually going to be looking at on the daily, but you know, if you have like a 401k or a 401 a Roth IRA or something like that, a lot of people have them through Vanguard or other accounts as well. And hey, Alan, I'm happy to see you back. And hey, Maddie, I hope you're doing good. What do you call? I'm doing pretty good today. I spent most of my day and yesterday kind of designing a whole course out for TradingView. I'm going to be doing videos here teaching you guys step by step how to do TradingView and how to use it to the fullest. The video coming out tomorrow is the basic how to set up TradingView, so like how to create an account, and then the difference between the different plans between free, pro plus, and premium, so you guys can determine which one you guys want to. And then I tell you guys some of that good old fashioned news that from like I tell you guys every year, where if you guys want to buy TradingView yearly subscriptions, you guys might as well just wait until Black Friday when everything goes 60% off, and that's the premium time to be buying TradingView, if you ask me. All right, one of the things I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit later here, and this is not any time, not like during the stream so much, but I've been posting a lot more shorts lately, so get ready for some of these shorts where it has like the AI hearing, where I'm going to be posting more shorts going off, talking about all the information that was shared. I think I'm liking posting shorts about what's going on in the economy over at the White House and just stuff that's being talked about in Congress from a business standpoint. Maybe some humorous stuff I see as well. If you guys like this type of content, just make sure to always give the shorts a like and stuff like that, I guess. But there was a hearing here just a few days ago with AI. I thought it was actually pretty boring and dry, but there was some good nuggets of information, I would say. This wasn't some type of hyped up hearing, but I do think it was worth kind of just getting an idea of what they were talking about. So I'll be posting up some short clips about it. That way you guys have a general idea of what was being talked about. Okay, let's get out of here. And also for today, everybody, this is going to be something I haven't done before, but because I am doing more stuff with TradingView right now as far as making tutorials and stuff, I actually got TradingView, the desktop application. And I normally don't use the desktop application. I normally use the website because I don't like to have pop-ups like this kind of going up and down, right? So now I am using the desktop application right here. So if you guys have any questions about anything related to what's going on in the charts, well, we're going to be using this one, okay? I remember that video you did. I remember the mining stock I was looking into, that one for dividends. Oh, that was probably one of the Blackstone Minerals, perhaps. That's something I've been holding for a while. Let me see if I can find it here. I forget the actual ticker. Blackstone. See, this is why I like to have this on here. Blackstone Minerals. What's the ticker for this thing? FINRIZ. BSM. Okay, of course. There we go. Oh, it's up a little bit today. That's nice to see. It's up 9%. Must have had earnings or something good. When was that earnings report? May 1st? No, they just had some good news today. What was the good news? Insiders load up on these two dividend stocks with impressive yields of 8% or more. Okay, I don't see any news there. But yeah, the dividend right here is, I know my head's blocking it partly, but it's about 11%. Maybe I can zoom in here just a little bit to 200%. A beautiful 11.77% here. I told you guys about this like a month ago, though, so it's definitely been a while. You checking the monthly here? Oh, I guess this is a new feature of FINRIZ. It went automatically to dark mode. I like that. Okay. But you can see during COVID, you know, it definitely dipped back down. I've been holding this for a while. This is something I expect to probably go down in the long term, like, you know, during a recession type of event. But I do think this is something I want to hold for a while because it normally stays pretty steady, even when we had the dip in 2016. Even throughout COVID, we came down, but that was a good buying opportunity for me, frankly. But something more of a dollar cost average. I don't know if you were exactly talking about Blackstone Minerals, but this thing has been it's been doing good, especially if you're looking for something that provides dividends. Dividends is why I love this quite a bit. Wow, this is this dark mode here looks a lot different on Finviz. Look at this. And of course, it's gonna. You guys can barely see the ad up here, but it's gonna try to get me to buy some cigars. I ended up. I have my cigar case right here. I know you guys can't see it all too well, but let's poke this right here. And I don't really have many cigars here, but let me show you guys this. Just the face. I had a little bit more than a handful, but I keep on like smoking them down. But I got this one that I want to try later on tonight. This is called this is Arturo Fuente Reserva Don Carlos. But you see how it has this little square bottom to it or something like that? I'm interested to see how this one tastes later on tonight. I also got, you guys know, I think one of you guys heard that I had an Opus X before. I got this Opus X one. This one was like $20 or something like that. $28, I can't remember. But it looks kind of cool, so I bought another one here. And then I got some other ones. But what is this? Padron. Padron Anniversary Series. They said that was a really nice. Oh wow, that smells really good. Yeah, it is a nice one. And I got this last one. This is one that I like a lot, but I don't smoke a lot of them. This is a Maduro, a darker one. Sorry to go off on tangent here. This is called My Father. I don't really have a father, so it holds a special meaning in my heart. But what do you call them? These My Father cigars are just absolutely beautiful. And then I also like the Padrones. I think the Padrones are good. And then the Arturo Fuentes are usually my favorite here. Okay. There we go. Oh, now it just smells like cigars, and it just smells absolutely wonderful. All right. One of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about today was I'll be posting some shorts about this as well, but I haven't found the full interview from last night as far as what was going on between Elon Musk and his interview. They haven't posted the full interview, so I don't have an opportunity to do shorts content on it just yet. But take a look here at Tesla today, and I'll actually just pull up Tesla right here because, you know, why not? There we go. There's a 50-minute chart. After that interview and investor day with Tesla, you guys can see how big of a boom this had, which was very interesting because part of what Elon Musk was saying yesterday was, hey, I don't care if it loses me a little bit of money, but I'm going to speak my mind and I'm going to tell my truth, which I thought was very admirable. A lot of times in the CNBC crowd, you see people not say what they believe is to be true because they don't want to offend anybody. And I thought it was kind of bold of him to actually go forward and say, hey, yeah, I'll probably lose some money for it, but who cares? It kind of left that guy speechless for a second. And then he also talked about The Princess Bride, which is always a plus for me because I absolutely love that movie. If you guys haven't watched that Princess Bride, I would encourage you guys to watch it. It's an older movie. I don't know if you know where you guys can watch it now, but it is a great movie. But you did see Tesla jump up around 4% today after it's been kind of lagging for a little bit. You can see a little bit of a sulking move we have over the past week or so. Now it's trying to break back above this little bit of a gap and trying to move back up here towards 181 or so. So I'm watching it closely. Am I buying it? Heck no. But it has been pretty fun to look at. Day trading, I think, is where you guys are going to have the most fun here. And you guys are going to be looking for these specific breakout zones like we had right there. Stopped for a second, then broke out, and then boom, you know, had a really nice day afterwards. Okay. Yeah, but keep an eye on Tesla. Elon Musk is, I don't know if he is or not, but does it feel like Elon Musk has been talking a lot more to the media lately? I feel like he did that like BBC interview a while ago. He's talking to CNBC now. He's going out more to more national outlets and just kind of talking. And it feels like every time he goes to talk, they try to make him look bad, you know, like, you know how they try to get him, like, you know, it's just media in general. You try to get the highlights so your own social media following will go up. And he's done a very good job so far of, you know, like smacking them back at their own game and just saying, hey, well, you know, making them look like they're somehow against whatever they outwardly are saying that they approve of. Like I think yesterday the guy was talking about, or a couple days ago, the guy was talking about how he's pro free speech and everything like that, or how like stuff is conspiracy theories, you know, like we shouldn't be talking about conspiracy theories. And then Elon Musk hit him back with, I guess, the Hunter Biden laptop story, how that was a conspiracy theory until it was true, or how Twitter was suppressing, I guess, conservative voices or anti-vax, you know what I mean, like anti-vaccine voices, and then it ended up being true. You know, the tinfoil hat people out there are, I don't know how to describe it, but, you know, there's always a lot of credible conspiracy theories out there that can actually like make some sense. And I think people want to be at least able to say, hey, I don't believe that, or hey, I believe that, but not not hear about it, if that makes sense. Tether is apparently buying Bitcoin on the regular now. Kudos for everyone. Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, as anything to keep those stable coins stable is what I'm going to like. I know the government is still trying to put out a stable coin at this point in time, and they're doing baby steps with it, but I haven't heard any big news as far as where these stable coins are headed for, like the what do you want to call them? The Federal Reserve stable coin. Because at this point, you know, I've used Tether and USDC for a long time now, years, and I trust those ones. Sure, they have their moments where everything is looking a little bit weaker. However, I still tend to trust them until they let me down, I guess. But, you know, whenever I have a little bit of a panic, I do tend to just say, hey, let me just sell out of this stuff, and I'll bring them back later on. All right, so one of the things I want you guys to know is over the past week when we've had all these kind of dips going on, we did come into contact with the 200 weekly moving average, and we did manage to bounce off of that. That was something very nice to see. If we are going to have somewhat of a bad week ahead, or maybe it's going to be the next week where things get bad, who knows? If we do end up having a negative week, it is most likely going to be one of those really, really, really bad weeks. That's most likely not going to happen because the stock market continues to kind of go more sideways, and guess what, guys? Sideways is good. Here's the NASDAQ weekly. We talked about that breakout last week. Now we're heading up to this resistance level here. Still, it's looking good. Actually, well, NASDAQ's a little bit more bullish than everything else. Yeah, the Dow Jones more sideways here after the breakdown. SPY more sideways here, but looking to break out just like the NASDAQ did, maybe. But anyway, most stuff is going sideways except for the NASDAQ, but this is because we're kind of in this weird, what do you guys want to call it? An AI tech bubble that's kind of building up right now because everybody thinks AI is going to make so much money, which I believe it will, but come on, guys, it's not going to be making a lot of people a lot of money for a few years now. However, if we do come down, it'll be one of those really bad events where we start breaking down below multiple weekly moving averages, which is not good. Again, just like breaking out above weekly moving averages, it's an amazing time. But when we break down, it's just as much of a terrible time. Now, we did bounce off, so hopefully we can continue to move up sideways here as far as Bitcoin's concerned. I would say a short-term price target for those of you guys that have kind of been buying around this lower zone, you guys might be looking for something around 29,000. Anything above that I think is being greedy, but I think it's worth being a little bit greedy if you guys are looking to scale out. But just be careful once we start getting back up here to 29,000. I think that's really going to be a really good boost for a lot of altcoins out there. But Bitcoin, you know, I don't know how much that really wants to go, because we've been talking about altcoins for a while, and we normally be looking at some of these daily charts. But when you take a second to look at the weekly charts here, this is Ethereum. This is the closest thing we got to Bitcoin here. Again, still kind of hovering above support. Hopefully it looks pretty good. Heading towards this 20-week moving average here. Okay. Last time we broke down below the 20 was right there. Not good. Here, not good. Here, not good. But also, when we broke out above it, it was still some really good experiences. Even when we broke above 50. But when we move across these moving averages on the weekly chart, it's just not good. Maybe we'll have a different time. It'll be different this time, maybe. A couple other things here. ADA, we're resting on top of a moving average right now. Dogecoin below all the moving averages. I don't know why Dogecoin doesn't have a 200 here. Maybe this is just a different chart. Yeah, this one doesn't go back far enough. That's fine. You got Ape token over here. Not going to have enough. A lot of stuff resting. I guess we probably have to go back to the daily moving averages for this one. Oh, no, this broke down a lot. Jeez. But yeah, you guys are getting the points here. If Bitcoin does have that big move and big drop down, watch out for these altcoins. I know I've been saying this for a while, but I just want to reiterate it over and over again. Be careful when if Bitcoin does plummet over the next 2 weeks or so, it's going to be a disaster for altcoins, but overall Bitcoin holders are just going to be like, it's down 4 or 5%, I'll live. Altcoin holders, we're down 20, 30%. Oh my gosh, what do I do? You know, so just keep dollar cost averaging if that's your strategy, but just be prepared that you might have some good dips coming in the future. And then if we go over here very fast. Oops. See, this desktop is just so weird. There we go. Get ready to start seeing, I guess it'd be more in the summer months, like maybe something more in June. Get ready for us to start testing out some of these support levels here, of which case we're not actually looking too bad at this point in time, honestly. But, you know, just understand we are getting closer to having some nicer moves here, and I hope those nice moves do come up soon. Just that one thing here, we haven't had this happen yet, so I haven't really talked about it. Let's drag this down. For those of you guys that do care about the MACDs, we are going to be looking at a MACD crossover to the downward side here above the 0 line sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Not going to be a good sign, but of course this kind of goes to that whole thing as momentum is slowing. However, maybe with the fact that the NASDAQ is continuing to move up, that may give us a little bit of a boom here in the short term with Bitcoin. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm hoping that that's the case. Black Friday sales. Yeah, Tony, when it comes to TradingView, Black Friday sales are going to be really what you're looking for. Let me pull this open for you very fast. So I'm going to make a playlist out of it. Let me see if I can find it very quickly. Yeah, it'll be this one. So right here, this is the video. It's scheduled to come out tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific time. So 10 a.m. Eastern time. When you guys get a chance, watch this video. It's basically going to be the start of a new TradingView course that I have for you guys. So you guys will learn everything you need to do with TradingView. This first one talks about how to set everything up, which plan is best for you. Then we start going over the homepage in the next video. After that, we start going over technical analysis. We're going to go over the stock screener because TradingView has a crazy stock screener. I don't know how to actually access it from here. Let's reload without saving. I don't use the stock screener all too much. Products, screeners, stock. Oh, stock 2.0. That's new. Okay, but they have stock screeners here as well. So if you guys wanted to go through this and try to figure out, maybe instead of using FinViz, you could use this. There's a whole bunch of different tools you guys could use here. Only problem is I can't zoom in on here like I do with the normal windows, but you know, maybe I want to have the price be above $10 if it'll let me. See, this doesn't work the same way as the other one. If you go to the website one, you could actually, there's a button next to price where you can go with a maximum price and a minimum price. They make this so much more difficult. There's a button on the side of the other one. Wow, some stocks went up a lot, 19,000% today, but see this small prices and stuff. What the heck is this? Sort of gold, yeah, these are some over-the-counter stuff and things like that. But they have all of this for you guys if you want to use it. I would say, let me just show you very fast because this is going to really mess up my head if I can't show you guys what I'm talking about. So for whatever reason, they're not showing maybe because it's stocks 2.0 or something like that. Product screeners, let's go to stock. So if I zoom in right here, you guys, I know this is going to be kind of weird. You see how it has this little button thing right there? Change, right? Below value, above value, or price. Right? Below, equal, above. I can set it to this so I can control what price I'm looking for here instead of having to go across from it and changing stuff up. It makes it really, really easy. This one, it doesn't have that one. It doesn't have those sideways things. It just has a way for you guys to organize it from ascending values or descending values. And it freaking annoys me that you can't do it on this one. Let me do one thing here though, just to make sure. Let's go back. Oh, how do I go back to the main page here? See, this is all so confusing compared to the other one. A new page. There we go. Screener, stock. Okay, regular stock screener. Is it on here? Oh, it's on the regular stock screener. Okay, so good. So they do have it here, which is nice, just not on the stock 2.0. They really need to add that there. But they do have a stock screener, and I'll be doing a whole bunch of videos on tutorials for this one because I feel like a lot of you guys may want to just stay within TradingView instead of going between TradingView and FinViz over and over again. But most people use FinViz because this thing, it can be a little overwhelming at times, I would say, because it's not as organized as FinViz. FinViz has like the whole screener section where you can determine like, you know, market cap of this, PE value of this, dividend of this. Here, it gets a little bit more complicated and you have to like, you know, go from performance sections to extended hours sections to valuation sections. It can be a little bit of an annoyance, to be frank. Okay, let's go back over here to Bitcoin. How do I get back onto the charts? Yeah, see, this is so annoying. Chart layout to load. I want to do YouTube show. Oh, so open up a new window. Can I just grab this tab and put it over here? Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. And let's go back over here. Yeah, so I'm still getting used to this as well. But get ready for some more downward moves. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a pretty large dip here over the next few weeks. But at least for now, we're holding steady, which is a good sign. We could actually go up a little bit higher here, maybe even trying to connect up to maybe, what, $28,000, $29,000 before making that move down. I'm hoping that we can continue to have these higher lows here build up and then eventually, while we may fall down and tumble just a little bit, you'll still have a good opportunity to make some trades within this range that we're looking at this point. There we go. And let me add on some indicators here as well, because I don't think I have many. Let's go to the Oracle, I guess, for now. Yeah, that makes my life a little bit easier. There we go. All right. That movie is legendary. Definitely. Princess Bride is great. If you ever come across it, LA Gloria Cubana Series R are amazing cigars and very reasonable priced. I don't know if I've ever come across those. When I go to my guy later on this week, I'll ask him. La Gloria Cubana Series R. Let me just copy this very fast. Series R. I won't remember it if I don't actually copy it. There we go. Paste in search. And there we go. Okay. Yeah, I have to give it a look because I do love some good cigars. And cigars, one of the reasons I do like cigars is they just help me slow down. And you guys know I have some bad ADHD. So if anything can slow down my mind just a little bit, it can help me out a lot. And I usually am not a fan of medication because it kind of changes my personality up just a little bit. And I kind of am who I am at this point, so I don't want meds necessarily to change to that. But cigar, I turn on the little fire pit outside. I light the fire. I kind of have fun tossing some wood inside of it. And I like just kind of watch fire. It's fire. It's cool. And then I just, light up a cigar and, usually with a cedar match or something. And man, it's just relaxing. That's why after I'm done streaming here tonight, I'm going to be actually making some of Loki's homemade dog food. I'm going to be cooking it up a certain way, and then I'm going to be mixing it with his kibble. But then after that, I'm going to be smoking this one, I believe it is, the Fuente Reserva Don Carlos. This one, I've never smoked one like this before, so I'm just curious to see how it's going to light and everything. And then I think tomorrow I may go with the Padron right here. No, I don't smoke every day, but I'm in my little cigar phase, so I'm a little bit excited about everything. But this Padron, it takes a while to smoke here because it's a lot. You can't just you don't want to overheat the cherry. But this Fuente one right here, it just smells wonderful. I mean, they all smell wonderful. When you open up the box, it always smells wonderful. But I'm always looking for more cigars, so any cigar recommendations, feel free. If they have it at my local shop, I'll be able to get it. The only cigars I don't like is probably the acid cigars, and that's just because the name weirds me out too much, but they look like they're okay cigars. Just like, it seems like a weird name for a cigar. Something about cigar, I like the fact that there's some old name type of feeling to it, like a Toro Fuente, Padron, My Father. Those names are better than, acid. But I heard acid too. I have friends that swear by acids, so I'm not knocking them. It's just the name is weird to me. Nvidia is above $300. I want to buy the short and bear ETFs. Larry, at this point, it is so overbought, but it's been overbought for a while, and it keeps on going up and up and up and up. Just a few months ago, I guess like a quarter or two ago, it was like less than $100, just for a little bit, but it was below $100. The fact that it's been able to skyrocket this much is just absolutely insane, and it boggles the mind how people continue to buy this up. So if you're gonna buy some shorts that go against it, whether it's ETF or something like that, it's definitely worth just kind of letting them sit around for a while, because they definitely are at a very cheap level. Any ETF that is shorting this, they're at some like really low level here, and you're probably gonna have it to hold for maybe a few weeks, but then it's gonna skyrocket there. Because even if we go over here to Whale Stream. Let's pop this up. Let it load for just a second. Oh, wow. And of course, there's a whole bunch of puts being bought today. 40 million puts on Amazon. Why are people doing okay, guys, a lot of these are in the money. So, understand that. But people are buying so many puts. This is crazy, and this is not the first day. Look, I can zoom in on this one. I know this is gonna look a little bit cluttered. Let me zoom out one if I can. There you go. Now it's still too cluttered. Look at this. Move this over here. Premium, $40 million of puts being bought on Amazon. Another 40 million of puts being bought on Amazon. Expiring 6/16. That's about a month from now. Puts on Tesla. $34 million of puts on Tesla. Another 34 million puts on Tesla. $34 million puts on Tesla. 28 million puts on HYG. Another 27 at HYG. Another 27 at HYG. Another 19 million on Tesla. Another 18 million on Tesla. Like these are in the money, so it's not as bearish as it would seem. But like, oh my lord, like that is just so much money pumping in there to short these suckers here, and I just. It's like everybody's waiting for some bad news, and I'm not realizing what this bad news could be. Because we've been seeing this for a while now, just massive amounts of puts being bought. So like this Amazon right here, before we start looking at Nvidia. If we go over here very fast, let's just go AMZ in. For Amazon, let's go over here to the weekly chart just so we can kind of see a lot of stuff going on. This week we've had a really good pump up. We're at 115. The puts that are being bought right now are at a strike price of 190. So they're way up here in the money because we're not even close to it, right? But what they're going to do is they're going to exercise those and short the stock back down. But like we're getting close to a level of resistance, but these guys can continue to run here. I mean, that like, 190 right here, which is more Amazon. No, we got Tesla coming up. We were just looking at Tesla actually. The Tesla shorts are at $400. We're at 173. $400 is all the way up here. Like these shorts, I don't know what's going on with them right now. They're definitely going to be exercised here because, yeah, that is absolutely wild what's going on at this point in time. Okay, but going over here to Nvidia. Okay, I got the A in there. So today there was a lot of call flow coming in here for a 6/2 expiration date. That's next month, the 2nd. And they were bought today. $285 strike price, 1.24 million, $1 million here. And it looks like these were both in the money here. So nothing too crazy. Anything out of the money? This is a put for out of the money, 295. That's kind of close by. 250. This is in the money. A lot of these are in the money. Here's one. A $300 strike price that was probably bought. Now it's probably making some money because I think it's in the money now. But $305,000 premium. So if we go over here very fast, they bought it at $3.20. Now it's all the way up at $4. They've already made like tens of thousands of dollars of profit just by holding for a few hours. Look at this. Call to 80 strike price. They bought this in the morning here. They bought it at $27.15. Now it's at $30. These guys are making some really good profits right now. This guy bought a put, but it's probably a hedge for all the puts. The calls have been bought over the past few days. But yeah, there is the options market is getting pretty intense right now. Everybody's loading up on stuff, and I'm just kind of here watching it slowly. Like, okay, something big is about to happen. Which one do I want to do here? Oh, how do I do this? Open interest, maybe? No, I just want to see the top flow. There we go. Yeah, and again, see Tesla. Why are there so much Tesla puts being bought right now? Amazon, Microsoft, SPX, PayPal, Square, IWM, Disney, HYG, SPY. Yeah, jeez. 154,000 contracts today were sold from Tesla, bought for Tesla puts, or traded, I should say, with Tesla puts. From the call perspective, Nvidia, that makes sense. Apple, Tesla, SPY, QQQ, BK, and G. You got some moves here. But puts, calls, the top one is 51,000 contracts. Puts, 154,000 contracts, 58,000 contracts, 21,000 contracts, 128,000 contracts. Wow. Yeah, I am just curious to see how all this is going to come down. What's going to happen here over the next few days. Man. Well, I should say weeks. We don't know when exactly it's going to happen, but yeah, I was just talking, like, this crazy stuff going on right now. Every time I think it's at its peak, it goes higher. I feel like the best plays are going to be like 1 to 2 months if puts if you're bearish. That seems to be the method here. You do see some plays for the next, like, I think it's like 3 weeks to a month. But it seems like these longer term things are going to be what's best. And this kind of goes to what I was telling you guys about, I guess maybe like 5 months ago now, how I've had to adapt my strategy here because you guys know by heart I'm a swing trader, but I've had to do a lot of day trades here, and it's just been freaking annoying to have to pay attention as much as I have to in order to get some of these trades, because usually you see a breakout, you can trade it, but nowadays if you have a stop loss like I do, you see a breakout, that breakout can crash down the next day, and then it goes higher a few days from there, and it's just so weird. So remember I told you guys about the Apple one from a while ago. Let's go right here. Let's go to the weekly charts. We had some of these smaller breakouts happening right here. We had a big downward move, then we started to peak back up. And I'm watching it closely. We're heading back up to a major resistance level as far as Apple's concerned. But, like, do you guys think that Apple is going to reach another all-time high? Like, to me, it makes no sense because the economy is still bad. Even though they had decent numbers for earnings, it wasn't numbers that I would say would justify it all-time high right before a recession. And, I feel like everybody is being gaslit to believe the economy is just doing some really wonderful stuff. And while the economy isn't terrible for like the market class, so to speak, the hedge fund class, it's still pretty sucky for a lot of people out there. You see Amazon right now. See, this is what I would expect the more of the markets to look like. We were at these all-time highs. Now we're kind of down quite a bit, but we still have more room to go up. There's a lot of stuff where we're just like, we're so close to all-time highs. AMD right here. Let's get rid of these. These are old. AMD is doing fine for now, but eventually we're going to start breaking down below these. Like right here, that was a breakdown, fell down for just a few weeks, excuse me. We might have some more going forward, but this is breaking out on the top. This may end up making a move up to 109 or maybe even all the way up here to 125. Google, AI, clean breakout. This is a weekly chart as well. Clean breakout. This was a swing trade. I wish I would have hopped on board. But again, I've been burned so many times by buying and watching it go down the next day that I just don't even do it. It's these day trades that happen within the price action. I'm like, okay, let me see what happens. And again, you kind of have to watch out for this pre-market action and post-market action because it's not something you can really control. But, if you can see a breakout happening like that, what happened today, you can try to gain onto that momentum. Over here, not much breaking out. Over here, not really much happening. Over here, a false breakout. Over here, a false breakout. It's just not as reliable here. I don't really trade Google, though, so that, maybe I'm not an expert on it. Right here, though, we had a nice simple breakout. It went up for just a little bit during pre-market. Then when the market actually opened up, boom, we tanked back down. That's Tesla. Whole bunch of wild stuff. NVIDIA, NVIDIA's been on a grind. We had a breakout. We retested it. Then we started to trend back up. That was something nicer. But even still, we have to wait to see what happens tomorrow. There we go. Back to a 5-minute chart. Let's go to auto and there we go. Okay. Any thoughts on yield max? What's the yield max? Let me actually just go over here, search for it. Make sure I got the right version. Yield max ETFs, maximize your wealth with yield max ETFs. Okay. Current yield 28.87%, 39% here. That's pretty nice right here. TSLY. Seeks to generate monthly income by selling, writing call options to single company stock or single ETF exposures. Okay. Oh, this is a very long article. So, option income strategy. Okay, so it's based off of different stocks. Well, if I was going to go off of one of these, I'd probably go with Tesla or Apple. Those are usually the two that I trust the most. Second tier would probably be Amazon and Google. Third tier would be everything else. You could try to go coin here as its own thing, but I think coin is going to be something that gives you really high returns or takes a lot, goes down quite a bit. But I've never heard of this before, so like, do they have a table of contents here? Okay, let's just go to Apple since it's page 2. We don't have to scroll down too far. The investment, fund's primary investment objective is to seek current income. The fund's secondary investment objective is to seek exposure to the share price of a common stock of Apple, subject to a limit on potential investment gains. Fees and expenses of the fund. The table describes the fees and expenses that you may pay if you buy, hold, or sell shares of the fund. You may pay other fees such as brokerage commissions and other fees to financial intermediaries, which are not reflected in the table and the example below. So there's a management fee of 1%, a distribution and service fee of 0, which is good, and other expenses 0. So it looks like the fee is just going to be around 1%. This example is to help you compare the cost of investing with fund with the cost of investing in other funds. So 1 year is going to be $101. Let's see. The example assumes that your investment from $10,000 has a 5% return each year, and that the fund's operating expenses remain the same. The example does not take into account brokerage commissions. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so hopefully they're making over $100 off of that $10,000, which I guess wouldn't be too difficult, especially in something like an Apple or a Tesla. Portfolio turnover, okay. A higher portfolio turnover rate may indicate higher transaction costs and may result in higher taxes when shares are held in a taxable account. Oh, okay. An investment in the fund is not investment in Apple, that's obvious. Let's see. Synthetic covered call strategy. So they're not buying any of the calls or puts, they're kind of mimicking the price action of them. Okay. So how are they making money if they're just doing the synthetic? Okay. Monthly distribution. I mean, it seems fine. It seems legit, but I have no idea how the history of these things have been working. I don't know if they've been having good returns. If they have, like, oh, why isn't it? Yield Max Tesla Option Income Strategy ETF. Can I just find a chart for it? Or this is the chart, fine. 6 months. 6 months is down 30%. Year to date, it's up 3.5%. 5 years, it's down 32%. I mean, Tesla, 5 years, up 816%. Might as well just hold Tesla at this point. I don't exactly know how is that going to be making you so much money. That's the confusing part of it for me. Like, I get that it's trying to do calls and options and stuff, but is it really matching the gains of just holding it? Maybe if there's one that kind of does a little bit of Apple and everything else, but it doesn't seem like that's been, doing a whole bunch of stuff there. There we go. Oh, and hey, Shannon, happy to see you back as well. I'm a fan of Little Wee William Blue Cigarillos. I have never heard of the. See, I am still new to cigar smoking, so I don't know as much. Like, I know what I like, and I know that, but everything else, it's all new to me. That sounds pretty good as well. I'm listening about 20 minutes behind. Thanks for making more TradingView videos. Yeah, no worries. A couple of you guys have been asking me for one-on-one meetings, but I don't have time for that because I've been too busy doing a whole bunch of other stuff lately, especially going outside a little bit more. And I had an ear infection a few days ago, and it's still kind of bothering me, so I can't even hear out of this. Well, I can hear it now, but it was bad. You guys have been asking for it for a while, so I spent like maybe the last 4 or 5 days going over to YouTube, and I basically was searching for TradingView tutorial, and I kind of watched some of these, and again, you know how I like to spoon feed people. Like, I saw this 42-minute one. This really didn't really go over everything you can do in TradingView. There was a 35-minute one that didn't really teach you much. So I'm going to do a series on them, kind of like one video here, one video, kind of like this one right here. But like this one starts right off the bat with setting up your charts and not actually going over all the stuff you can do at TradingView, like getting the right plan and everything. And then at the end, I am going to put all of those videos together to make one really, really long video, so you guys can watch it bit by bit by bit as I kind of put it out. Or you guys could wait for the very long video to come out, in which case it's going to be 4 to 5 hours maybe of content. I'm hoping I'm not going to make it too long, but you know, TradingView, there's a lot of stuff you can do on TradingView. Again, we haven't talked about the screeners and stuff like that, you know, much, but they have screeners. They have a whole bunch of assets and tools. Like if I go back over here, where is it at? See, I'm not used to this one right here. It's like you open up new things. It's weird. Like the heat map. We don't talk about the heat map here, but they have a nice heat map. I would even say this heat map is better than Finviz's heat map by a mile. You can zoom in here. You can go by sector if you wanted to. You could even change what the size of the blocks mean. Typically, when you're talking about the size of the blocks, you're usually looking for market cap. But you could have the size of the block be the daily volume. And you can see how much that changed everything there. You know, so now we're not looking at Apple, you know, we're looking at like Tesla's and Bank of America and Amazon. You know, Google's way down here, much smaller behind my head. I know you guys can't see too much, but much, much smaller. A lot of the volume today was actually in the financial niche, right? Then the consumer durables, so that's the Tesla, GM, Ford, a lot of money being over there, Amazon retail trade, some consumer services, but not much in communications, not much in process industries, not much in commercial services, and not much in non-energy minerals. So you could change it up however you want to. I mean, you guys could even do price to earnings ratio. I mean, I don't know why you would do it, but you could. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to mess with this type of stuff. You could even go by sector, right? You could have no groups, so it all just looks like everything put together. I don't know why people do this. Like, then you might not be looking at market cap. You can be looking at the volume for the last hour. And so as it changes throughout the day, you can see what's getting the most attention by volume. And that's kind of cool sometimes. But again, market cap is usually what I prefer. And I prefer to have it grouped by sector. But you guys can go, you know, you can change the sizes of everything. If you want to, you can go over here to settings and take out the title. I mean, you can do so much stuff. I actually like their heat map. I don't use the heat map too often, but it's nice and it's there. It's just so much information. There's so much information here. But yeah, so while I make all these videos for you guys, I hope you guys enjoy them quite a bit. And do me a favor, as always, is when I do start doing more and more content for you guys, no matter if it's just like a video, like a tutorial, or it's something where I'm just talking to you guys and having a good time, the best way you guys can support the channel is by watching the video from the beginning to end. That seems to be what YouTube is really looking for these days. And it's hard to make educational content really good, but I'm hoping by just making longer videos and making more of them, YouTube will bless my channel with more views. And it seems like that's what you have to do nowadays, make videos that are longer than 10 minutes and not just make 4-minute videos or 5-minute videos, but you have to make videos that are long, because that forces people to watch longer videos, but you just have to make sure the value is there for the whole 10 minutes. Ooh, excuse me, guys. I made some homemade tea today, and it's been lovely. There we go. It's been pretty toasty out here, so I've been outside with Loki quite a bit, letting him play around as the grass gets higher, or taller, excuse me. Buffett announced he sold Amazon. Oh, I mean, doesn't that make sense? Like, I would assume somebody like Warren Buffett is looking right now and is like, whoa, this is kind of expensive. I'm already sitting on a lot of cash, but I might as well have more cash, put it towards treasuries, or just keep it into short-term cash, right? And just wait for the market to start coming back down and then start buying it back up. Because he's not going to be trying to find the bottom. He's just going to try to wait for the price to become more attractive. And if you're looking at everything, like, you know, everything right now, it just looks expensive. And that's the thing. You know, hedge funds, they have to make their trades short-term, long-term trades, but they don't want to miss out. People like Warren Buffett, he can be like, hey, we've made a lot of money so far. How about we just take some money off the table? Let's sell out of it a little bit. And when the price comes back down, we can always just buy back up. Because frankly, I think he's correct to assume that the price will come back down. um, not everybody is of that mindset, you know. There are a lot of people that still say that we're going to be looking at a soft landing. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, how many times are we going to hear the soft landing? How many times are we going to hear that everything is perfectly okay and there's not many problems, the economy is going to go on and people aren't really struggling too much? It just, you know, it's a little bit of ludicrousy at this point. I did not know that, Larry, so thanks for letting me know. And hey, Nico, happy to see you back, man. Can you look at what's going on with Antara Capital shorting around $50 worth of AMC? What about it? They're probably shorting it because it's a meme stock. Meme stocks usually get shorted all the time. I don't know the exact reason they would be doing it. Sometimes they'll do a statement to try to make the price move down even more. But, you know, with a meme stock, it's usually not going to be something that's really sought after. It's usually something that gets like pumped up. But overall, it usually starts coming back down because people eventually, like, you know, they lose money, then they give up and they start selling it off a little bit. Antara Capital. Public news. There we go, investor place. So this was 3 weeks ago though, but we can read more about it. It's loading, I swear. I clicked on it. It's just taking a few seconds to get to investor place. All right. So I know you guys might not be able to see this too well, so let me zoom in just a tad. Antara Capital has disclosed shorting 11,300 shares of AMC Entertainment. The transaction was initiated in order to deliver shares to a third-party holder who exercised calls. Oh. AMC stock is up by about 20% year to date. Again, this is 3 weeks ago. The Form 4 showed an undisclosed third-party holder exercised call options as indicated by transaction code X in the form. This obligated Antara's master fund to short 11,300 shares of AMC stock to complete the delivery of shares. The shares were borrowed from an unaffiliated broker. A Form 4 dated April 4th showed that Antara owned 0 shares of AMC. As of April 20th, Antara owned 0 shares of AMC as well. Okay. The disposition of such call option is as a result of its exercise and the sale of such underlying shares of a Class A common stock were exempt from the Section 16B matching pursuant to Rule 16B6, said the filing. Okay. This is the form. So Antara Capital LP, the stock was AMC Entertainment, AMC Ape. The transaction happened on 4/4, so this is over a month ago now. Yeah, 17164. Put option right to sell, put option right to sell, right to sell. Okay. So somebody exercised their options basically, and that meant that to exercise them, when you exercise the options, you get the shares. And because when you buy a contract, it's for 100 shares, they had to buy that many shares and give it to them, and that looks like what happened here. Okay. Nothing crazy about this. It just seems like one of their members that uses the fund, they had AMC puts, and they chose to exercise those in order to get AMC shorts. Nothing too crazy, but they must have felt like it was worth shorting AMC and trying to push it down even further. And this was a month ago, so they might have had a good opportunity of actually shorting AMC down over the last month. So this is AMC. Let's go to last day. Let's see. And this is a 4/4, I guess. Right here. No, that was the low point. So they might have actually exercised their shorts right here, got a whole bunch of shorts, and they probably bought somewhere back over here. And they probably bought all those shorts back, which ended up pushing the price back up here quite a bit. That's most likely what happened then. because I'm not seeing anything that would suggest that they would still be holding on to these shorts. The only thing is you can't exactly see when they actually bought the puts that were exercised. I'll leg up here a little bit more. Yeah, so it seems like they probably ended up just saying, hey, whoa, our puts are worth so much money, let's exercise them right now, and then let's buy them back and take the profit. And they were probably hoping it might have gone down a little bit more, but they didn't feel like actually selling the puts. So that's interesting. Maybe they had too many puts and they didn't want to sell them on the open market because that might have crashed the price of their individual puts, which happens every now and again with an, what do you want to call it, implied volatility. That could have been what happened here. But it seems like they're not in the market anymore off of how much AMC's risen. Like, how much did it go back up here? Yeah, 58%. That's quite a big boom here. And then we just had the breakdown right there. It doesn't seem too crazy. 15. There we go. Hey, Michael, I remember same recession fear in 2019. The market did new highs when everyone was talking about the breakdown. See, in 2019, we didn't have, there's a few different things. The economy overall was just in much better shape. Right now, we have credit card debt going through the roof. We have inflation still very high in many sectors of the economy. We had the government change up the way the inflation was calculated, the CPI, back in January, and because of that, people, it feels like like the CPI number keeps on showing us going down, when in reality, if you go to a lot of those components that make up the CPI, they're not actually going down, but because things are weighted now, it's a little bit different. And then on top of that, excuse me, that inhale a bit more. There we go. We now have the Fed actually forecasting a recession. And we also have a rate hike of, what are we at, like 5.25 basis points? If I go over here very fast. That's fine. Okay. So we got the Fed funds rate right here. Should I go weekly? Sorry guys, this is a little bit confusing, but it is the Fed funds rate. Let me go over here to this. Okay, right here in 2019, we're about 2, right? Not nearly as much. Jerome Powell was so afraid of a recession that the market was going to come down. He actually lowered rates right here. He lowered rates because he was afraid. And then we had COVID, and of course, we just went to freaking zero. However, because of us kind of spending too much money, supply chain issues, stuff like that, worldwide issues with the Ukraine-Russia war, inflation started to skyrocket, and now we're up to 4.83%. We're at a higher rate than that right now. I know we definitely are. I don't know what this is telling us. Gosh, yeah, I keep on thinking this is a chart here. There you go. Yeah, we're at 5.25 points. 5 to 5.25. So things are not, they're just not as good. Now, I hope we can find a way out of this, but the fact that the Federal Reserve is now coming out and saying, hey, we're most likely heading for a recession, that's not a good sign. And then again, last thing here is, when Jerome Powell got afraid, the whole market got afraid. Last time he was able to lower rates and he was capitulating against the market. He can't do that this time because if he does, inflation will go higher. Now, we've been seeing a whole bunch of stuff as far as, rental recession, services inflation, stuff like that. Those have still been stickier than expected. However, the overall CPI numbers have been going down because of how they changed the formula. So maybe if I go over here to trading, I think this is a good example because we had good news this last month. Remember, we've been talking about how rental inflation has been going up and up and up and up and up. Let me take off my head here. Well, for the first time, we came back down. But look at this. Inflation is still at 8.1% for rental inflation. Just because it's going down now doesn't mean it's negative. It's still going up. It's just not going up by as much. And as long as that continues, we're going to be in a rough spot. And the one last thing here I would say is GDP. Oh, I always forget which GDP it is for this one. Yeah, they do GDP weird here. No. GDP per capita, maybe? No. Okay, I forget what it is. But our GDP is going down. I think our last GDP was 1.8% or something like that. It was a really big disappointment. So if we go into negative territory for this quarter, that's going to signal some really bad stuff going forward for the third quarter and the fourth quarter. But again, most people aren't projecting the recession to happen until I think quarter three, quarter four at this point. Some are even saying it's going to be pushed out to 2024 because people keep on putting all of their bills onto their credit cards, and the recession won't start until people can't people can't add to the credit cards anymore because they're maxed out, which would be absolutely horrible. Maxing a credit card out is something that's terrifying, or it should be terrifying to most people out there. It's like, how hard it is to max out a credit card. I mean, depending on your credit that you're allowed to get, I guess. But that just seems crazy to be forced to do that. But maybe it's because the economy is bad. Maybe it's because you lost a job, whatever. But if you have a credit card, remember we just had a whole bunch of years of people having low interest rates, so it was very, very easy to get credit cards and stuff like that. When the shit hits the fan, it hits the fan. Let's see. Russia to cut 500K barrel of oil a day, bad for inflation? Yeah, it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's terrible. Oil has still been bouncing around between that $80 to $70 level. The one time we broke down below $70 and everybody got kind of scared of how far oil can go, OPEC stepped in to stabilize the market. And I would assume that they're going to continue to step in and stabilize the market as needed. Usually in the summertime, people drive more, so there's much more of a demand for oil and for gasoline, basically. That's probably going to keep prices kind of propped up around these levels. But what I think it's going to do is because the economy is slowing, GDP is coming down, less orders are being, less warehouse orders and stuff like that. I think in a decent way for people that don't want to spend lots of money on gas, it means that there won't be nearly as much demand because we're not going to be fighting or trying to get the same gas with the major corporations. They're not going to be using as much gas, so there's less demand for the gas, which will help us out just a little bit. I filled up I was like really low on gas the other day. I was like at not E, but like how your car says like beep beep beep, you have 50 miles left to drive, which is quite a bit of time, but for a car it says that's not a lot. I filled up my car and it was like $60 or something like that. I was like, whoosh. I remember back in the day, filling up my car was like $35, $40, and that's like doubled just like that. I guess not just like that. It's been going up for a while now, hasn't it? However, I can absorb that into my budget fine. It's not going to hurt me. But there are people out there who maybe could have used the extra $30 to, buy their kid a soccer ball. Put it towards savings every month, every few weeks. I don't know how often you guys pay for gas, but I know some people that get gas every other day. I know other people that get gas, maybe once a week. I know people that get gas maybe once every 2 weeks. I'm a person that gets gas maybe once every 2 weeks or something like that. I don't really go driving too much. My car has like an eco mode, and I usually just drive to the dog park or the beach, and I drive back. At most, I'm probably going to have to spend a few $100 over the next few weeks to get new brakes for my car. You always got to replace those brakes. But I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. Soft landing is the new transitory. Larry, I think you're right there. We're used to being gaslit in this country, and it's just part of who we are. We tend to trust big institutions and government. I'm a very cynical person when it comes to trusting the government. I just don't do it too often, especially over the past, I want to say 5-6 years. It just seems like the government has, the media in general, they've kind of determined that their personal opinions dictate how they respond to news events. And I don't like that. Regardless if you guys like MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, like ABC News, any of the NBC News, any of the CNBC, Fox Business, whatever, CNN Business, any of these networks, Bloomberg, I see it more and more where the news anchor or the news individual, you can easily tell which side of the issue they're on, and I shouldn't be able to tell what that side is. I just want to say, hey, what's going on right now, and that's all I care about. I can make my own decision. The way they talk about it, the small moves they make with their face, the small eye rolls they make, it's like you're not even trying to be objective here. And because of that, I don't know how much I should be trusting you at this point in time. So I just tend to not trust them at all. And I try to piece together what I can find from the CNN, the Fox Newses, the ABCs, and the NBCs, and I try to make my own educated guess. And that's all I can come up with, and I hope for the best. Usually I'm not really caring about the nation. I'm just kind of caring about my family, what's kind of closer to home here. So as long as the media kind of keeps on doing that, I feel no incentive to really go out there and be like, oh, wow, what the media is telling me is 100% true. I just don't feel that the incentive. Like, I like listening to experts on CNBC or Fox Business and Bloomberg. I think the experts are good, but they all have their own agendas when they go on as well. A lot of times when you go to CNBC and they have some expert talking about Elon Musk, it's people who very much dislike Elon Musk. So I won't even listen to them. I just turn off the TV because I know I'm not going to hear a good argument to why, to whatever they're talking about. It'll just be Elon Musk is bad, he's anti-Semitic, he's too much free speech, and he'll fail. Now check out my other product that, they'll be like, hey, but I have something that's better. This is a competitor to Elon Musk's product, you should check this out. So they're just bashing Elon to get people to sign up to their products. It is what it is, but at the same time, you can be disgusted by it and be like, okay, well, I don't care enough to call them out or go on the rampage against them, but I'm just like, and I think that goes back to what we talked about before as far as the gaslighting that went on about transitory. Transitory came about for a few different reasons, but my personal opinion, transitory came about because they knew inflation was here, but they wanted to make sure people didn't panic about it and that it wouldn't hurt the Biden administration. And from a political perspective, it was a good idea, but it ended up being a terrible idea because they got it wrong, and it was very easily wrong. They thought they had an opportunity to fix it. They never could fix inflation because they didn't understand that by spending so much money and printing so much money, that actually messed up our economy just a tad, right? Now, transitory was kind of there because Trump appointed Jerome Powell, but Joe Biden reappointed him. And if you want to be reappointed to the job, you usually want to be friends, or you want to be show a gesture of good faith with the president to make sure, hey, I'm on your side. It's the politics of it all, because there's always politics in our bureaucracies. It's kind of how we roll here. He had to make a gesture of good faith to say, hey, dude, I kind of want to keep this job. Here's a bone. And then he went with Janet Yellen saying, hey, transitory. And then eventually, not transitory anymore. And then we had 9% inflation. We had gas going up, we had eggs going up, we had everything going up. And at this point, remember, we haven't deflated at all. Everything is still more expensive, and it gets more and more expensive every single month. That's why even though we talk about the headline CPI number, which is like a 6% to 5% to 4% to 3%, whatever it may be, we also have to pay attention to the month-over-month numbers. That shows that inflation is getting worse month after month after month after month. It's not like things are getting cheaper. It's just that things are getting more expensive slower. So, I wish there was a phase of where we had deflation, but we're not even close to that, excuse me. NA Talk and Tell podcast. Do I trade forex markets? Yeah, I trade the forex markets every now and again. I usually don't like to because I make more money trading cryptocurrencies, to be frank, and options. However, forex pairs can be usually good. Usually what I'll trade is the euro against something or the dollar against something. Usually the euro versus the dollar is a good trade. Or if you want to, you can always go with the pound to the dollar. But I don't know, the pound's not as nice as it once was to the dollar. Last year it was rocking and rolling. It was some good money to be shorting that pound down. Now it's not as easy to short the pound because they're still having some issues here, but they're starting to raise their rates more and more and more as we're starting to slow down our rate hikes and such. But yeah, I trade forex. It's all about the pips. Inflation rate doesn't count food, gas, and housing, which is odd. Well, yeah, because that's what normal people have to deal with, man. You have to remember, this isn't Joe Biden's fault. This isn't Trump's fault. This isn't Obama's fault of how this system is set up. This system is designed to give people information, but not hold anybody necessarily accountable. That's what the bureaucracies do. Remember, these bureaucracies are all led by people with political appointments. Over time, what they were designed to do gets eroded. So they were designed to hold people accountable. They were designed to do something very, very good. And they all had good, noble intentions at the beginning. But over time, those good intentions get eroded down because people that want to do well in life and they want to have a nice, cozy political job, a bureaucracy job, they will play the game of politics, which is a very difficult game to play, I would assume. And then as they get these nicer and nicer jobs, they do favors for people. And especially when you see these people that come in, they're not always the best and brightest, but they have connections. Think of what's that guy's name? Pete Buttigieg. He was not a good mayor, as far as I know. Black people don't like him because he didn't do right by us by like a police incident there. Again, I don't know much about it, but I know black people don't like him because of that specific incident, which is why he didn't win any votes from the African American community. But then on top of that, when he got into office and we had a massive supply chain issue, he couldn't fix it. Right now we're having airline crises every few months. He can't fix that either. And so he's just not right for the job. However, he is a McKinsey guy. And I don't know if you guys know what McKinsey is, but McKinsey is a huge firm that they deal with everybody. Everybody. Most people, when they go to business school, they want to get a job working for McKinsey. I'm looking at McKinsey. This is the apartment I used to live in downtown Seattle, but we're not looking at that. Yeah, Global Management Consulting. Except my cookies, sure. They help you do anything you want to. Like, hey, I want to make more money. Hey, we'll lay off these workers and make these workers work harder. That type of stuff. Hey, use this new service. It'll help, you can lay off these people and use this service. It'll save you a lot of money down the road. No insurance, no nothing like that. And so very, very, very smart, talented individuals work here. But just because they work here doesn't mean they're an expert in every single field. They're usually an expert in one thing and they go out and they do that one thing in the world. Well, he was not an expert on supply chains. Right? That's why if you go over here to Pete Buttigieg, I can't pronounce his name properly. There you go. Early life and career. Buttigieg was valedictorian of class at 2000 at St. Joseph High School in South Bend. That year, he won the first prize in the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library Museum's Profile and Courage Essay Contest. Where is that? I don't care about college. Yeah, he went to Harvard. All right, that's uppity right there. Let's see. A Rhodes Scholarship to study at University of Oxford. I mean, doesn't that sound like the uppitiest of uppity things? You know, I don't care if you guys go to these countries, universities, but come on, you got to have some, you got to have some connection just to go to these places. Wait, let's see. Buttigieg worked on John Kerry's 2004 presidential campaign. Oh, I totally forgot about that one. Let's see. He lent assistance to Joe Donnelly's successful campaign. They don't tell what he does, but let's see. Okay. In 2007, Buttigieg became a consultant at the Chicago office of McKinsey and Company, where he worked on energy, retail, and economic development. All right. Energy, retail, economic development, and logistics for 3 years. Logistics is what you should be thinking he was very good at to be, what do you want to say for like supply chains? But logistics for a company is different from logistics for the whole country. It's just a very different thing. Normally, you'd want to hire within the bureaucracy itself because those people understand everything. But at the same time, they could probably have you don't trust them as much to follow your agenda, and the agenda is what kind of rules the day here. But his clients at McKinsey included health insurer Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, Best Buy, Canadian supermarket chain Loblaws, Natural Resources Defense Council, Environmental, the EPA, Energy Department, the Department of Defense, and the Postal Service. Nothing from there signals, large scale supply chain stuff, if that makes sense. Let's see. He left to do a campaign with director for Jill Long, but I guess it failed. Direct commissioned officer, that's pretty good. It's always nice to be an officer in the military. I've never been in the military, but my family says the officers have a good time at. Well, maybe the privates don't have as much nice time because they're not paid as much. Let's see. I think that's all. I don't want to go too much into Buttigieg, but you kind of see how that system. It's just not a good system that we have. You can see he's qualified to be like a politician. You see how he kind of maneuvered his career. That's all through family influence right there. Oh, go work for my friend's campaign, get some experience. Go work for that person's campaign, get some experience. It's pretty common. I don't blame them for it. I just, it's not enough necessarily to run. It's not enough to become transportation secretary. But by having friendships, no matter which party you're in, you can get a pretty cozy job. Especially there are people that are hopping into the Republican committee, Republican primary and the Democratic primary right now. Well, not so much the Democratic one, but they're hoping that by jumping in, even if Trump is still the president, if they surrender to Trump or they say, hey, Trump is Trump is, how do I want to say this? I am suspending my campaign and I want Trump to win, they may get a nice cushy job out of it. Remember, that's what Mike Pompeo did, and I think he was the head of the CIA or something like that. It's a tactic that's used all the time. Remember, didn't John Kerry work for Obama? All this stuff happened. Didn't Hillary Clinton work for under Obama? It happens all the time. I am a very cynical person when it comes to our politics, and I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. But it's just don't expect anything good to really happen. Expect that the system will be stable enough for you to have some type of opportunity. Do what you can to get the opportunity, but don't expect the government to do much for you. And I think that's a good enough strategy that anybody can take. And if you don't like it, you can move. I'm moving to Ecuador. At this point, I think I give up on Nicaragua. It's too much work. But Ecuador, I have a friend down there. I'm already started on the paperwork. It's pretty darn easy. Paid a few fees. Get my visas. Eventually, I'll get my residency. Peaceful. A lot better. Let's see. What's right here? What kind of car do I drive? Oh, I do not drive a fancy car. I bought my car back in college, and it hasn't failed me since because I take care of it. And it is a 2013 Ford Fusion SEL. So it's cars.com. It's this bad boy. Nice little pretty car. Nothing fancy about it. Well, the inside is kind of nice, but basically it has LED lights in it. It has Sony stereo audio. Has Sirius XM radio. If I can find it right here, inside the rearview mirror, there is a camera, the rear view camera. It pops up in there, so I can just look in there and I can see what's happening behind me. It's very nice. It has the sensors. It's telling people the cars are too close and stuff. Rear view mirror sensors, stuff like that. It's nice. It works perfectly for me. I bought it back in 2014 or 15 or something like that. It's been a while. But it's at 270,000 miles and it hasn't had a single issue. The one issue it had, I guess it did have an issue, but the one issue it had was the steering pin broke, but it was a what do you call those things? A callback item or something like that. So they had to fix it and pay for the entire thing. I didn't have to do anything about it. So, and before that, I had a 1994 Ford Fusion. I have yet to buy myself a nice new car. I get emails all the time from Capital One. I get all the time from Chase saying, hey, you're pre-approved for a car. Why don't you go buy one? And I'm like, because I don't need a car. It's all my car does is get me from point A to point B. It has very good air conditioning. It has heated seats if I need heated seats. It has some bells and whistles in it. Don't get me wrong, but it's I've never been one that needed a fancy car. Would I like one? Yes, I would. But do I need one right now? Especially when I'm thinking I'm moving in a year to next summer to Ecuador? No, I don't think I need one. And so it's stuff like that where I'm like, most of my money, honestly, guys, goes to saving because I want to buy a house in cash. And a lot of times it goes to just the day-to-day stuff. So my rent, I pay for my rent. I pay for high-quality food. So, that can be quite expensive. I get Loki's kibble. Loki's kibble isn't really too expensive, so maybe it's something more like $100 a month for dog food. I don't think that's too much. But then on top of that, it's maybe an extra $50 because he gets raw meat added to his dog food. So, you know, he has a fun time eating all that yummy stuff. Um, gas, maybe a couple hundred, few $100 a month of gas because I go out and I fish and stuff. So I go in the wilderness a little bit. Food for myself is usually like $300 a month. Going out is usually about $200 a month of going out. It's maybe like, you know, 2 or 3 nice dinners. That's it. A vacation I go on every now and again. That's usually about $1,000, $2,000 a vacation. You know, I kind of put my money in these little like pots to just save, and you know, I have my money pot for vacation. So when I want to go to Vegas, I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to vacation. I'm going to Vegas for a little bit. I'll still be talking to you guys, but I'm just gonna have some fun in Vegas because I need it. Like when my friend wanted me to come visit him a few months ago, I wasn't planning on doing anything fun, but I was like, okay, hey, my friend wants to visit me in Vegas. You know, he's gonna be down there. I haven't seen him for a minute. Let me go hop over there. It's nice to kind of have that freedom to just do stuff. When I go to Ecuador, I'm going to rent an apartment or a condo in the mountains or on the coast. I'm still kind of divided. I think I'm about mountains right now, but I can still go to the coast. And then I may eat out 50% of the time, and it would still be cheaper than here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Oh, and hey, Ken, I'll answer your question very fast. Thank you very much for the super chat, my man. Hey, Mike, can you do some TA on Target as a long-term hold? Yeah. So Target actually just had earnings, I think, coming up, or did it already have earnings? Let me check. Or is it tomorrow? No, yeah, earnings. Yeah, earnings was this morning. Okay. So, in my opinion, Target is something of a longer-term hold that I think you guys would like to buy. However, I am still going to be in this camp of, hey, look at this. We're kind of in this consolidation pattern right now. And I think eventually we're going to break down and head to this next level. And I think that next level is going to take us anywhere. Let's just go back over here so I can actually just give you some opportunities. Longer term is way over here. All right. It's going to give you an opportunity to buy kind of around here on this 115 level. I think that my buying zone for Target is going to be something right around here. Kind of between 125 and whatever this low bottom is, 114. I think to me, this is like my golden zone for buying Target. Now, let me get rid of this stuff, though, so I can show you something else here very fast. Is I do think we're going to be breaking down here eventually, and that breakdown is what's really going to be like the recession type of event that we're seeing. I don't think we're going to come all the way back down here to 94. I still think people are still going to have some sort of job, so I don't think we're like there's going to be like mass carnage like this. We're not going to see a horrible, horrible, horrible recession. This is going to be something more of a mild recession. But I think that breakdown is going to really push us back into this zone, and that's where I want to buy it. However, if I go back over here very fast, can I do this the right way, or will it let me? Let me see. Okay. There's good. One more. If you are hoping for a little bit more of a bullish or a bearish outcome, maybe it'd be better to just do this. Arc path. Okay. Perhaps we go back up a little bit more, have that breakdown, maybe even have a little bounce over here as things get more turbulent. But if you want to, you could have a larger limit order down here towards 95 to 93 bucks, and then we start bouncing off of that. This one I'm a little bit more iffy of, because I still think people like to go to Target even in a bad economy. Target people are freaking fanatics. I've been inside Target plenty, and usually I'm just going in for a pack of gum or a drink or something small. But there are people that go into Target and they just get freaking lost in that sucker, and they just start buying up tons of stuff. And I think the women that I see that, the guys I see do that, they're still going to be loading up a lot. So while I do think the market is going to sell this off eventually, I do think it's going to be a good opportunity to buy for the long term here. Hopefully I'm wrong and we won't go below, like, hopefully I'm right about not going below at the 90s or $100 level, because that'd be pretty brutal. But if I go back over here very fast, let me get this off of here. There we go. We're in a beautiful, let me zoom in here. I'm sorry, I forget you guys can't see exactly what I see. I think we are going to have a nice consolidation phase, but we are going to be breaking on the downward side. And as soon as we start breaking down here, I think you could start dollar cost averaging if you wanted to. That way you don't miss out, perhaps if we don't hit that next Fibonacci support level. But if you want to make a little bit more of a an aggressive play, you could wait for us to hit some of those Fibonacci levels. And if I can do this right, this is a little bit more difficult. I haven't done the monthly chart in such a long time for this one. All right. One of my friends and I were doing some target technical analysis a while ago, and I forget exactly how this looked, but okay. One of them was kind of like finding the support around here. Now this is around $136 if you look at it from the next few months. Like this is a monthly chart. I was maybe thinking maybe down here again, looking at those Fibonacci levels, maybe back down here around 120 to maybe 115 or so. You could always go back down here, but again, that's like 95. That's matching up to that Fibonacci level we just talked about. Also kind of going to some of those COVID lows we saw back over here in March. However, if you want to swing this around just a little bit and go, I think it was to the original. No, it must be the modded shift. Really? No. Inside? Maybe it is the inside here. Yeah, because we're still bouncing up right there. We're still kind of getting squeezed in here. Yeah, you might be still looking at this 124 to 115 level. That's where maybe I'm wrong and we don't go a little bit lower than that. But yeah, anywhere between, let's just call it 115 and 130, maybe 125. That's really my golden zone for acquiring target in the future. Going into like a longer term view here, you know, it's had its ups and downs. This is the 2008 financial crisis. It usually rebounds pretty well, but you can see how it only fell down for like maybe 3-4 months, you know? Then it was kind of stabilizing for another 3-4 months, and then it eventually started to pick back up. You'll have ample time to buy this sucker back up. Even back over here to the dot-com bubble, we kind of had a recession over here. You see how, you know, just a little bit of bumps. Target's not known for being a tech stock and just coming back down very, very hard like an Nvidia or a Tesla. It's a lot different. So I would say, you know, that 110 to 125 level, 105, whatever you're kind of feeling more comfortable with, that's where I would start acquiring it. But you could even see on this monthly chart, you can see that death cross coming over, right? We still have a little bit more time before that. I wouldn't put too much faith in the death cross though, but you know, let's go to weekly chart. You're already seeing these death crosses approach us right now. I think we may have another pop-up here before moving back down, but eventually I do think we're going to be coming back down here. Let's go back over here to 15-minute chart. Okay, but what I was going to tell you guys very fast before I forget, what here? I just watched your Holes Moving Average video. Do I still use Hole Moving Averages? Yes, I do. It depends on what I'm using. Usually I've been using it for some swing trades when we're using breakouts as like an extra feature of like, hey, this is another good thing of why I should be trading. Or I use it more on day trades being like, hey, now on the 15-minute chart, the hole has just turned green. Now I can feel more confident about this position for a breakout. Or usually you can pair it with something known as the, what's it called? The squeeze indicator from Lazy Bear. I forget the exact name of it, but it's the squeeze indicator from Lazy Bear. It's I think it's a squeeze MACD or something like that. Now, if I can show you guys this very fast, I was just looking at this a few days ago. Here we go. So I could rent this new modern 2-story house in a gated community with a swimming pool. I don't know. I always have to check everything out in person. But this house right here is $650 a month. It's not glorious or anything like that, like as far as luxury, but it's decent. Nice little house, like 1,900 square feet. Everything is furnished. I could live here perfectly fine. I could have them take out the bed in the one place, or the bed's in here, and I can make an office out of it. And then I guess I do have a pool to myself. You know, a little bit of a cleanup area. I don't know how I like that. But if I wanted to, I could pay for this house $650 a month. That's way less than what I pay now. You know, and it's nice, and it's right by the coast. Not exactly on the coast, but like in the middle section. I'd still be fine with that. I would still honestly be fine with that. But again, I would have to learn more about it. Because sometimes when I go over and look at these houses over here in Ecuador, like, this is a 1,600 square foot apartment. You know, looks like it has a decent view. I wouldn't want to live here technically, but you know, decent view. Oh my gosh, no, look at that. No, blue is too much. Wow. But basically, you can see what you want. I think I have like a cap right now of $800 so I can spend more time out having fun. But basically, here's one that's 1,600 square feet. This is where you have to like check everything out, which is why I have a friend coming with me. But you find a house like this, would I live here? No. But it's a decent enough house where I could live here if I wanted to. Honestly, I'd probably spend at least $1,000 for rent, but I'm trying to find the best deals because my mom is like, you know, you should find somewhere cheap, and then you could use all your money to move around. Because she wants me to have a house, like where I just live short term, and then she wants me to be able to like go move around to other parts of the country with Loki, and then just kind of stream wherever I'm at. So she's like, maybe one day I'm in this city, then another day I'm at Airbnb in this city, which I think is kind of a cool idea. But in order to do that, I would have to make sure my budget doesn't get blown up by having a very, very nice first place. So like if I move this cap here, you guys will see what I'm talking about when it comes to the nicer properties they have. So this is a 1250. This is kind of what I pay right now. Look at that. Nice, newer, right on the ocean. You have a view of the beach. I think you have a view of the beach. Yeah. Look at your kitchen has a view of the beach, but look at that. There's a broken cabinet right there. Is there a view I can see from here? There was totally a view from the thing, but they didn't take a good view of it. Take a good picture of it. There's a pool outside for everybody to use. Looks like hot tubs. But you can see there's water right there outside. So I could do that if I wanted to. So, I mean, see, I'd rather just pay for my one spot, maybe do less trips abroad in the state. But, I mean, you know, there's a whole bunch of different ways. And it's like 1,700 square feet. That's beautiful. But, you know, that's the stuff I got to work on myself. Like, hey, how much do I want to spend when I go do this, that? Because I'm also going to be doing YouTube, and I don't want to move Loki around too much. He's not going to be used to Ecuador for a while. What do I fish for in Tacoma? Usually it's just trout or bass. I live over here, kind of closer to Graham. So if I go over to maps very fast, maps. Here, let's boom this. All right. So I live over here towards Spanaway, Elk Plain, Graham area. So I'm kind of like not in the city anymore. I used to live in downtown Seattle, like right around Denny Park. I used to live right here, McKenzie. Then I used to live down here in Tacoma. This is where I started my YouTube channel because I used to have that little apartment. I think one of my cars is still right here in the satellite vision. Nope, not anymore. I used to have a car parked right there. Oh, that's the same picture, yeah. But if you go to this gap, I used to live in this building right here. And I used to live in this unit right there. And I used to like have a nice little view of the water. You know, it's next to a castle school, which is awesome. Look at that school. That's a freaking castle. Okay, but let me get out of here very fast. Exit. If it lets me exit. I'm zooming out. There we go. But, you know, there's parks and everything around here, so it's nice and green. But now I can drive over here, not too far away from me. I can go to Lake Kapowison. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's a very beautiful lake. There's not really many pictures of it, though. Maybe this, it's all trees in between. Like there's railroad tracks that go over here. Yeah, see, there's the railroad tracks. You'll park off the road here, and you go fishing throughout these little wooded areas and walk on the tracks. Take Loki with you. There's no trains that use this. You can go over there, or you can go down here. Which one is this? Clear Lake. You got to know somebody to be on Clear Lake. Usually it's like rich friends of mine. Their grandparents have houses that they don't use. You just ask for permission and you can go over there, but I haven't been over here in years. This is Alder, yeah. So you got Alder Lake, which is nice. You can go, but usually if you're over here, you want to be on a boat, honestly. Like, look at this lake. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But usually you don't want to fish off the shore because nothing's ever on the shorelines, honestly, over here. Unless you kind of walk into the other side, which is more wooded areas. Or you can go over here to Rife Lake. Way down here. Beautiful. But normally, you know, I'm about a half an hour from Mount Rainier. And if you guys go over here, like, maybe I'll go over here. My grandparents live in this neighborhood over here. And if you turn over here, I think you should be able to see how beautiful the mountains look as soon as you turn into their road. Oh no, it's a cloudy day. Yeah, it's a cloudy day. So if I were to zoom in, there's a beautiful mountain range over here, but you just can't see it because it's your typical cloudy or smoky Washington day. But here, let me just go right here to this road. Ashford, Mountain Peak or something. You know, I could drive over here within 40 minutes. Now, it would take me probably an hour or something to hike up this path. But yeah, I mean, I love being close to nature. Really, really close to nature. And look at it. It's just beautiful over here. Nice. But yeah, I live over here, much more South Sound. I even travel half an hour to go down to Lacey. This is the state capital down here, Olympia. And I get my cigars at this place called... I forgot. It's something 8 or something. No, that's the one from Vegas. Cigar Daddies. There we go. Cigar Daddies. Old veteran works here, and you can see the cigar shop. It's very, very beautiful inside. You have all these cigars to choose from. There's a place if you want to sit down and enjoy your cigars. But they got a whole bunch of cigars for everybody there, like a whole bunch of cigars. I'm a big fan of the Arturo Fuentes. Oh, there's not many pictures here. I guess maybe more pictures on here. The cutters and everything. But yeah, a very, very nice cigar shop. I think people enjoy it. But it's where I got all my cigars from. But yeah, I don't spend my money. I don't think like most people. I know a lot of people in the crypto niche over the past year or so. I have friends that trade for a living. A lot of them spend their money a lot more freely than I do. But I think at the same time, they don't want to save as much money as I do. They want to have as much fun as they can when they're younger, and I totally understand that, especially because the investors and stuff that are making decent money. Me, I kind of made my decision when I was in my early 20s to kind of grind out until I'm 30, which again is for me like 2 years. And then I can kind of go full blown with my money, having a lot more fun, doing a lot of fun stuff, which is why I'm getting ready to go down to South America, where my money goes even further. And then I want to kind of grow my little mini business empire that I'm trying to establish here, and then, you know, not have to worry about money at a certain point, which I think is going to be very nice. But, you know, that all comes with hardships and stuff like that, and maybe doing a little bit more work than I otherwise should have to do. But at the same time, it's worth it. At least I hope it is. I just finished the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. What other book do you recommend? I mean, I don't usually read financial books like that. I think I read that a long time ago, but it was with an audiobook. I would honestly just Google it. I have ADHD, so reading books normally isn't my thing as far as like trying to make me hunker down and read something. The last book I read, which was a very long book, it was agonizing to read, but I enjoyed it, was War and Peace by a Russian dude. It was a monster of a book. And before that was Les Miserables. I don't know, that's not how you pronounce it, but you know, The Miserable. But as far as trading books, the last one I remember, I don't even know what it was called. It was about long-term investing, and it was basically talking about how Warren Buffett trades stocks. There are tons of videos about it. I have a video about it I just did a few days ago. I would usually just look to follow Warren Buffett if you want to read a book. He has some good books out there that kind of explain how he likes to trade. If you can find a book by Ray Dalio, those are going to be good. I haven't read one of those books since 2015 or so, but that book was really, really great. It kind of teaches you how the world kind of ticks and how to make money off of the natural things that happen to great powers. And kind of the forces that kind of move around towards the end of an empire, the beginning of an empire, and how you can invest at the beginning of those empires and make some good money if you're willing to hold for quite a bit of time. But those are for long-term investors. But I would say Ray Dalio book is usually going to be pretty good. And hey, X-Ray, my thoughts on Doge. My thoughts on Doge right now is it's kind of looking pretty weak. It's kind of at a support level here, so I wouldn't be buying up too much necessarily. I would be looking to do dollar cost averaging on Dogecoin and just kind of leave it at that. Dogecoin has been coming down slowly, just like most of the other coins. Only thing is Dogecoin has probably come down just a little bit more, only because it popped up so much more, because Elon Musk has just been our powerhouse for Dogecoin. What are you doing? Loki's just licking my hand over here like it's flavor and it's all ew. But right now I would say I'm not really excited about Dogecoin or many different altcoins at this point in time. Altcoins have been really losing dominance against Bitcoin. So eventually they're going to do fine, but I think right now it's a slow accumulation phase. And I mean slow accumulation phase because everything is still so high relative to what it was before. It's just baby steps into getting all into those types of tokens. Debating selling my Alta, bought at 350, 380 now. Now it's 546. Oh, I would definitely consider selling that one, or at least shaving some off the top. Shaving some off the top and having a stop loss, so if it does go back down, you're perfectly fine with it, and you're still like, wow, I made a really good trade. Because there still is a little bit of up room for a lot of different assets out there right now. It's just, you just want to be careful that you're not stuck in some type of gap down situation. But as far as that, like, I would be fine shaving off just a little bit. You don't have to shave off 50%, but shave off 25, 20%. It's been a nice profit so far, it seems like. So I would, just lock in some of those gains and make sure that if it continues to go higher, you can continue to shave off even more of those gains. $500 it went down. Still a great price right there. And no worries, Ken. Do I believe in diversification? Depends on how the assets. So I believe in diversification, but the majority of my portfolio is still tech, right? When the market goes into a recession, everything is dipping and kind of crashing hard, depending on how you look at it. A lot of my money is going to be going into tech because historically that's been working out very, very well for me. I'll also be putting money into real estate after that gets fixed back up a little bit more. But, am I going to be buying stuff like Walmart? Sure, just a little bit of it. Will I be buying companies like IBM? No. It depends on how you view the diversification. When it comes to cryptocurrency, diversification is fine, but the majority of you guys' holdings should most likely be in Bitcoin and Ethereum and maybe some other higher market cap coins. But the majority of it really is going to be in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin is not going to be less than 30 to 40% of my entire portfolio when it comes to long-term crypto. Short-term crypto different, long-term crypto different, right? But you need to diversify. But there are just, even in the stock market, there are just stocks that you just don't want to buy for the long term. If you want to diversify, you can easily just go a lot into Apple, a lot into Google, a lot really heavy in tech. But instead of diversifying into specific stocks outside of those tech companies, I can just buy some generalized ETFs and have exposure. Instead of me having to search through all these, companies, look at their financial reports and say, wow, how is Walmart doing? Instead of doing that, we're okay, well, here's an ETF where Walmart makes up 20% of the portfolio. I'm fine with that. ETFs to me are a great way to diversify without actually having to do a lot of the research work behind it all. You could always follow Warren Buffett and stuff like that. And when Apple comes back down, I'm going to be buying up a lot of Apple. It's been very, very consistent. That type of stuff works well for me. But as far as diversification, you do need to diversify. But it's not like you need to have positions in every single sector. There are times when we go into this recession, I'm not going to be heavily invested in bonds and treasuries. Right now, I'm actually investing quite a bit into treasuries. But when it comes to bonds and treasuries, no, I'll be putting all that money back into stocks, and then I'll have a lot of cash sitting on the side. So as we kind of do that jumble effect at the bottom of the market floor, maybe we're towards the top, maybe we're not even at the bottom yet, but dollar cost average, boom, 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 money just flowing in there because eventually it's going to come back up and have some really good success. I don't see Apple going bankrupt. I don't see Google going bankrupt. I don't see Microsoft going bankrupt. I don't see Nvidia having any trouble. I don't see AMD having any big trouble. I'm buying them when they're crashing. As long as they have that solid cash flow, that's all I care about when I'm buying when everybody else is freaking out. But we have to see if everybody even freaks out in the first place. Because right now we're in this AI tech bubble. And I'm just what the heck is going on here? It's like the AI stocks are having their metaverse moment. And we're just kind of there sitting along, making some money, kind of holding some of them for a while. But then we're man, this kind of keeps on going up. Shouldn't I be selling some of this now? And so you're maybe I should sell off some of my Nvidia. Maybe I should sell off some of this and this and this and this. And it's just yeah, I probably should start selling off some of these assets because we're just kind of gone to this stupid high level where it's why are we getting so high? It's not like Nvidia is making all this money all of a sudden. Now it's overvalued. Now I'm how can I justify holding this anymore? And then you get to the point where okay, fine, I'm just going to sell it off, take my profit, and then wait for another opportunity to buy lower. But the fear here is that it could continue to go higher. And so to mitigate that, what we just talked about, you could scale off some of it and then keep on holding it to see what happens. And eventually we're going to have some really bad economic news. And that's when most people are going to start opening up all those shorts. Remember, we just talked about Livestream and all the freaking shorts going on there. So many shorts happening. It has been unbelievable how many puts are being bought. Right? And that's why I also use some of these technical indicators, like one of the sponsors of the stream, Chart Prime. I try to use some of the long-term indicators to kind of figure out what's going on here and there, some MACD, some RSI, stuff like that. It can be just wild here. But yeah, I believe in diversification. All right, but okay, everybody, I'm going to call it a night right now. I'm going to have to go visit my mother. I told you guys earlier, but she was driving home with my grandmother and somebody rear-ended her. and she had a little bit of like a cut on her eye, so I just want to make sure that she's okay. I already talked to her and saw her. That's why I was like, I got here right at 6 o'clock because I was rushing back. But I'm gonna go check on her and I'm gonna go bring her some dinner. So I will see you guys a little bit later. Loki wants to say goodbye as well. I think he sees me. His ears are popped up and. Why do you claw me like that? Ow. Okay, Loki, here, come here. Yeah. Go over here. Yep. Now you guys can see him as the glorious puppy he is. Okay, yeah, the glorious puppy he is. All right, but I'll see you guys a little bit later. Have a good time here. What do you call? We're still not in any danger, guys. We're just kind of having this really boring sideways market. But I'm still going to stream with you guys. It's just, there's nothing to talk about as far as the market. Nothing crazy is happening. We're just all seeing these red flags pop up. But, you know, we've all dated a crazy guy or a crazy girl with red flags. But, you know, while we're kind of dating them, they're there. But it's like, you know, we're having fun. And we're making money. We're trading.